Over the summer, we went on a road trip and stopped at a highway side driving stop. In Ontario, we call them on the go, the equivalent of the Italian autogrilli without the gourmet food. These places are usually packed with families and weary drivers from traversing this immense province. Several years ago, these auto stops were transformed. Instead of having 4 people standing to take our orders at the local burger and chicken fast food shops, there's only 1 person. Now we have the option to place our orders via a large, long screen. Maybe you have seen one in a McDonald's. There arose 2 problems when this change occurred. Number 1, the drivers went directly to the human server, creating a large line of frustrated families. And number 2, the screens didn't work or were not intuitive. The owners of these roadside stops sought to resolve this lack of adaptation by having humans help the drivers to use the screens. It may sound redundant to you, as this very human could just take our order, but this is the lengths to which customers are being trained to use machines, teaching us to fish, etc., as the old adage goes. But the entire reason we go to fast food is so we don't have to fish. We are tired and hungry and want to feed our kids. To people of my generation, having to figure out the machine is a labor. But for a younger generation, trained on screens and icons, they walk in, approach the screen, and quickly navigate the complexities of lunch ordering. And then I feel like the old ladies in the annex who go to the bank branch to pay their hydro bills. Welcome to We Are the Machines. I'm Dr. Deitra Sawh. This podcast is for those who want to use artificial intelligence. Through anecdotes and phrases, you will be fluent in AI in front of the executive team and at the dinner party. I explain how machines learn in the context of human learning and arm you with the right questions to be asking the machines or those who are building your business machines. You will sound like an AI rock star by the end of each episode. Let's get started. Today's story brought to light the transition away from frontline workers. When I use the term frontline worker, I am applying it to any role in which humans are interacting with other humans. Examples can be health workers. In finance, there are traders and bank tellers, financial advisors, retail personnel. Hospitality is a high-touch industry with front desk staff and cleaning personnel. Aesthetics has hairdressers and nail salons. There are teachers, real estate agents, even lawyers are frontline workers. And in entertainment and sports, yes, we watch the humans here too. You see, AI sees no economic restriction either. It is coming for the highly skilled as much as the low-skilled workers. The fact is that many industries have frontline workers, which are slowly being replaced by the machine. This is because the cost of a chatbot, for example, per customer is less than $1, whereas the human frontline worker comes with much higher costs. Also, humans are getting used to interacting with the screen to order food, so why not do it in person as well? A friend of mine is among the frontline workers as a real estate agent. She is often bombarded with AI-generated questions and is tempted to AI the answers back, but instead she calls them. And these calls, when arriving at the decision point, she always finds that the customers want permission to buy. It's an interesting conundrum. We humans need the okay for risky decisions. It's the same reason why we follow others. But when we are, say, buying a property, opening a business, having surgery, buying our first car, we need someone to tell us it's okay. That's because many customers still prefer humans for complex or emotional issues. Yet companies are still driving towards chatbots because of their higher first contact resolution statistics. But that's because the machines are quick to diagnose most common problems because it either resolves completely or escalates immediately. Humans often handle partial or complex cases, and importantly, humans can handle edge cases. As we have discussed, the machines are classifying us into a deterministic set of buckets in order to triage us through its systems. But not all of us and all situations fall into these buckets. Humans must be enabled for this aspect of human service. Okay, time for your question. Is your job at risk of automation? Anthropic's AI Exposure Index shows that the areas of business, administration, applied sciences, and education or law are currently at the highest risk of automation. Are you in any of these roles? If so, what value do you bring to the role that a machine cannot? Currently, a lot of skilled workers are reviewing the machine's outputs, but reviewing work is boring and ineffective to the point of mind-numbing and nullifying thought. I certainly don't review my own work with scrutiny because I'm rushing through so I can get to lunch or hand in my exam. The machines are getting so good at programming that many companies are not even reviewing the work. As long as what goes into and what comes out of the black box of the agents is okay, the company's fine. This scenario is rife with risks, as we have discussed previously the dangers of removing the human from the loop. This is something I like to call the frontline workers' dilemma. Frontline workers are being forced to train the machines to do their jobs. The very workers who are going to be out of work is doing the training and reviewing of the very machines to replace them, with the value proposition being increased productivity. That metric often includes labor costs, so beware. The situation reminds me of when I was a co-op student. I was asked to cover Steve's back office P&L reconciliation function to bridge the gap between his retirement and the conclusion of the competition for his role. After a few days of training, Steve looked at me and said, "I've been doing this work for 25 years, and they think a co-op can replace me?" he said incredulously. Well, the same thing is happening here. To developers who've been doing it for 30 years and they think a machine can replace them? Indeed, that P&L reconciliation function can be easily automated, given the tools we have available to us. Ledger technology, for example. And the Steves of the world spend time training me, the student, to automate the very process using a machine. Now, of course, there are high-impact application areas where orchestrations of agents are beneficial. Document processing, anywhere you need disparate sources of information, and it can pull and process the document. Application processing, analysis, building a research proposal. One last thought on the digital revolution. So, they made us adapt to the machine. Now we work by interacting with the machine to operate the things we need, which are all now embedded in databases or systems. So now we're building agents to operate the very systems they made us build to operate it in the first place. So once we operationalize those systems, then what do we humans do? We need to make another industry just for us. And now, a moment for the human. We are putting ourselves out of work because we are the ones using the machines to eat, pay bills, and manage our portfolios. So we are complicit in the frontline worker dilemma. And once again, we have fallen into the trap of the machines. And in this way, we are training the machines to train us. Thank you for listening to We Are the Machines. I'm Dr. Deitra Sawh.